Let's go over here to Mercer and go right up Dexter. You want to do that? All right, let's take you to the water. Are you guys celebrating anything? Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Is it beer?
No, it's water.
Thank you so much. If you notice anything, just let us know. We're on top of it, as you can tell. All right, let's when we're ready, let's go.
All right.
I think we should give the illusion that we're moving really fast. Everybody bounce up and down in your seats like this. I said bounce up and down, not act like you need medical attention. You know what? I think it looks pretty cool if you needed the medical attention. I think that looks awesome. Let's turn it up a little bit. Woohoo! Say goodbye to the people. Goodbye, people. Just remember to keep your hands in. All right. I think we should go celebrate. There we go. All right, I'm going to help the captain from time to time make a lane change or make a right turn. Hello. Good job. Round of, I'm going to do it for you. I know. Fight the voices.
What?
Doing of the dramatic music. Here we go. This is what we all live for right here, man. Alright, I'm going to go on microphone because the people live here and it's early. You can do clackers and stuff, it's okay.
A launch?
That's probably a houseboat.
Somebody lives on that.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, the captain is going to go ahead and accelerate now, so you might want to hold on. We're out of the channel. We like to just lay low over there because people live there. Go ahead, Captain. Let's rev it up and let's get out of here. We'll have some fun. All right, we're going at full speed right now. Are you okay? I know. We have the chip installed. It's a ludicrous mode is what we have now. No, I mentioned the speed limit earlier of 7, and we're never going to be able to get a ticket because we can only go about 4.5 knots. And this is per original design. This is how the original ducks were built back in World War II. They were built to have the propeller tucked up in the back of the duck so it didn't get broke off. And after the tour, when you go down the stairs, just turn around and look up the back end of the duck and you'll see a big old propeller. But not very much water goes through it, so it doesn't go very fast. If you just rev it up and just over cavitate. Sorry for the long-winded answer on that, but here's the thing that I think people want to know. Is this an authentic World War II duck? No. It's a replicated duck, but it works the same way. And there is a level of authenticity in it, and that is, you know, what's under it, the axles and the drive lines and the chassis and all that. It is an army truck, and that's how they made the ducks back in the 40s, and they still make the ducks today for the tourism business out of army trucks. So what is this one? What year is it? 1952 Studebaker. Yeah, just a little bit newer, but not that much, right? We had some Kaisers and Studebakers and Rios, but we'll give you some more history on that. We're out here on Lake Union. What a beautiful day. Lake Union comes from Lake Washington, which is right around the corner. If you wanted to go to Lake Washington in your boat, you would just do a U-turn, go that way, under the bridge, head on off in that direction, go past the University of Washington, which is over there, and then the lake opens up to a really, really big freshwater lake. That's where this freshwater comes from, right? And this water generally goes that way for about another mile and ends up over at the locks, and then it steps down about 25 feet. So if you want to go to the saltwater, that way, okay? And that's when the transition is made, is over at the Ballard Lock. Over here, people live in houseboats and floating homes, and we'll talk about that. Over on Lake Washington, huge mansions, super wealthy people with yachts and airplanes and stuff like that. I'm sure that's a kind of a lot to manage, probably a big headache. I mean, are they happy? Yes. Probably. Oh, that one big yacht's gone. Remember the big yacht that was there yesterday? Yeah, it's gone. Anyway, we have houseboats over here to the right. Say hi to the people on the kayaks. You can rent kayaks out here, probably over on Westlake Avenue. If you have any questions about any of this, let me know. But just take a look over at the houseboats over there. They're tied up to the dock just like any other boat. And they have motors, they have steering wheels. They're self-contained. They got to get pumped out. You don't have to take them anywhere. You just call the company and they'll send over either boat number 1 or boat number 2. They'll take your business. Each boat has a poop deck. Okay, that's enough. Think of them as RVs on the water, right? You know, if you don't like where you're living, just untie and push away. If you don't like your neighbor, untie him. They are a registered vessel. So with that being set up, look over here to the left. This is different. This is real estate over here to the left. These are what we call floating homes, right? Floating homes are permanently hooked up to the city utilities, like the power, the water, and the sewer. They don't go anywhere. They're not vessels. You don't drive them. They're just like regular houses, except they float on the water. And we'll talk about how they float on the way back. All right, this is the original coffee roaster for Starbucks over here to the right. I'm kidding, of course. This is an old coal gasification plant that does not work anymore. From 1906 to 1956, it turned coal into gas, and that's how we heated the homes of Seattle. Coal was brought in by train, dumped off over there, reduced into a gas form, and piped into the city. Now, 1972, the city acquires the property and says, let's make it into a park, so let's get rid of everything. Everybody in Seattle says, whoa, 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 whoa. We love it, it's gothic, it's medieval, let's repurpose it. Let's make it into a really big piece of public art. Good thinking. Let's put a fence around it and paint graffiti on it. I love it. It serves a few good purposes. Wedding photographs are taken over there all the time. Sometimes they'll shoot scenes for TV shows and movies. 10 Things I Hate About You is one that we always talk about. That's where they did the paint scene with Julia Stiles and Heath Ledger throwing the paint around over there in 10 Things I Hate About You. All right, let's make it past buoy 11. Kind of head on over to Queen Anne. And we're going to go check out the Sleepless Inn Seattle floating home. You guys want to do that? Any questions? If I can't hear you, I'll actually drop the mic and come back and talk to you. Hello. This is Kite Hill over here to the right. Now, when they were kind of doing a little bit of a cleanup and repair on this place, they decided to just take a lot of that toxic coal residue or residual and just bury it right over there. Good thinking. Probably be like okay after 1.5 million years. I don't think it's bothering anybody. body of your lake over here to the left. Lake Union is not very big, and it's not, thank you, and it's not very deep. It's only about 35 feet deep. So it warms up nicely, especially in July and August. The water will be about 73 degrees for you to come out here and do a little swimming. All right, we have a plane coming in for a landing way off in the distance. You can kind of see him with the flashing lights. You'll see him touch down in just a little bit. He is from a place called Kenmore Air. They're over there at the south end of the lake, and if you want to take a plane ride, just go see them. Got a little wet on that one. It's always a little bit rougher on the weekends because there's more boat traffic, and then when it gets warm like this, the heat or the wind, and it starts to kick it up a little bit. All right, we brought you out here to show you this place. There's a bunch of people kind of on the deck of it right now. It's a kind of a beige or a tan or a light brown, and we're going to use that green kayak as reference. So straight on past him on the other side is this place. 2,200 square foot floating home, never goes anywhere, and somebody lives in it. So we have to keep our distance, you know, for privacy. Oh, is that the whale plane? That's my favorite plane. Did it just take off? There it is. It looks like an orca whale. Now they go up to, you know, the San Juans all the time and drop people off so they can get on boats and go watch whales. All right, we have sailboats coming at us, and we got to make a port turn. Lake Seattle floating home. Another plane taking off. Good picture taking time. When Sleepless in Seattle came out in 1993, it was voted one of the most romantic comedies of all time, starring Tom Hanks and the original Meg Ryan. Okay, I'm going to let you guys go for a little bit. Just, you know, relax. Take pictures. cover a lot of things on our tours. Every tour guide's got a little bit of a different approach. I have a construction background, so I can talk about how the floating homes float and how they work, and then we'll talk about the price tag too, and just the difference in personality between Lake Union and Lake Washington. I made a joke earlier about the rich people over there. I'll revalidate that here in a little bit. As a rule, it's the easiest to talk about something when you're right next to it. So let's look at these floating homes and notice that there's different covenants, right? A different neighborhood, if you will. There's bigger, newer floating homes than, like, let's say these right over here, okay? These are older and smaller, right? The guy that developed this property, right, so he goes through all the permitting process, which is very complicated. Then he puts in the docks, and then they sell spaces, and builders build homes, or you buy a space and build a home or whatever. But he had a little bit of a thought in mind for the second row back. See how they're staggered? I just like to point that out. The second row back has a little bit of a in-between view of the lake, you know, because of their offset. And then the road is just, it's just over there just a little bit farther. You can see the conventional structures on land. So going up the hill, you've got condominiums, apartments, houses, condominiums, so on and so forth. And then coming out from the land, you've got dock systems that go out where they have like floating homes, right? And there's no more room on the lake. That's why they're expensive. So how much would you pay for a floating home here in Lake Union? About $1,000 a square foot. It's kind of my formula. So 3,000 square foot, that's a no-brainer, $3 billion. If it's 400 square foot with a doorknob and a curtain, 400 grand. And that's probably on the low end. It's probably going to go up from there. Now, how do they float? Here's a good example. The one with the speed limit sign on it, just on the other side of this boat, as he's in between us right now. Hello. After the boat. I don't want to be rude to the lady, but I'm like, you know, making her go. See the floor joist? Kind of crude, no rim joist. You can kind of see through it. But what that's above is a system of logs. That's supported by logs, layers of logs, right? The bigger the home, the more logs. That's the old way. It goes back to the pioneer days. Cut trees down, chain them together, and if they get waterlogged, oh well. But later on, it's like if they get waterlogged, no, there's companies that'll come out and replace them. Those are grandfathered in. So they're organic. If they get waterlogged, there's somebody that's going to help you out. But you don't have to get rid of the whole thing. Matter of fact, if you buy a lot, a watery lot, I guess, I don't know what you call it, but it's that space between the docks, you're going to be able to remodel. I don't know if you have to keep a certain amount of the originality. I'm really not, you know, that versed in it. But some of them are pretty old and pretty rotten looking. But the newer ones, after a certain time, the permitting said, you know, no logs, concrete. Not a slab and not regular concrete. Don't think of a box, you know, 4 walls and a bottom and a lightweight concrete, especially formulated for a floating structure. For the big ones, basements. They're 3 stories, so they got to have quite a bit in the water. There's a relationship. If it's too much foundation, it's going to push it up out of the water. If it's too much house, it's going to go down. It's displacement. Think of a battleship or an aircraft carrier, if you will. So basements, crawl spaces. The one with the gold trim, the gray body with the gold trim right over there, that's got a crawl space that goes into the water. It's a concrete box made out of a lightweight concrete, and it goes into the water about 6 feet. And that's kind of a unique design. Those are not just windows, those are sliding glass doors, so that right half of that home can be opened up, and that's their living room right there. We've seen them, yeah, like waving at us and, you know, holding up a glass of wine or whatever. They have a big footprint, so they're not going to move a lot, right? They're very subtle. And in the wintertime, when the wind comes over the hills, it hits the more center part of the lake, so it has a little bit of a forgiveness on the circumference. And the lake never freezes. It never freezes. It never gets that cold in Seattle. People live here all year round. And I know that because we come out here all year round. Is it cold? Yeah, on the dock. We bring blankets. It's in the, like 40 degrees in January, February, you know. This is a houseboat right over here. Underneath, you might be able to see the black silhouette of an outdrive or something like that, or 2 of them. All right, I'm going to go off my... This is the yacht club over here to your left. Private. This is the public moorage. Right or left, doesn't care. I don't, just remember when we go over the bridge, we gotta take a right at Dickerson. And then when it's wide, you gotta make sure it says city center.
Yeah, I've done that.
Okay, all right. Okay, cute. Okay. I love you. I'm trying to rinse myself. What are you looking at? The old road?
Okay, now
Oh, the pilot? Yeah, do whatever you think is right. The registration at the
just in case when I saw all of this.
So this is. Yeah, I'll just look at
That's an old tugboat.
Like an annual.
Mortgage fee, I'm sure they pay by the month, and it's based on the size of the vessel. So, you know, this is going to be like $1,500 a month. At least, you know, if it's a little boat, it's only like 20 feet long. It's probably going to be about $400 a month, maybe $350. My sister had a place on the other side of the lake, and she paid $375, and it was undercover, and they had a shower and a laundry room and a dryer that went clunk clunk, and not the best in the world, but and they didn't live on their boat all the time. They just went on the weekends and stuff. How about a nice round of applause for Lake Union? There we go. There's our boat ride. We don't have to trailer or nothing. We just drive right out of the water. Now, when we were in the water, the wheels were turning the whole time. Just turning because it's in drive, right? Just an army truck made into a boat. All right, I'm going to help the captain. You are good on this side, Captain. Will, you have a car coming? What's in it? We're going to cross over Virginia, and they'll probably stop the parade for us or whatever. All right, so if we were to take a right over here, we would then take an immediate left. We would go past the center of the universe. We would go past Vladimir Lenin, which is a big statue from Russia. I'm just kind of randomly pointing out. All right, give yourselves a round of applause, everybody. You guys did a good job. You guys did a really good job. Round of applause for Captain. I own a boat. I own a boat. How about a round of applause for Clem Chowder? Me? Yeah. You know what? I had the time of my life.